Hello, truth seekers. Lawrence here, and welcome to Easy Enlightenment. So, truth is simple. However, it is not simple for you right now because you're not there yet. And you're trying hard to figure out the truth, figure out the true freedom. But you're failing. And you're failing because of your conditioning. Your body is conditioned, your mind is conditioned, and conditioned has become the home. Condition naturally drags you to listen to the condition. And when that is happening, that is the reality. The reality we listen to. And we listen to because our conditioning, mind and body, reminds us the pleasure, reminds us the pain. And with that reference, we are moving forward in life. And from that, definitely we are inviting the support. But one thing is for sure, that our fear is not ending from that movement, isn't it? And also, listening to our conditioning is listening to our past. We already know that to live life, we have to live in the moment. To see things clearly, we have to live in the moment. But see how our reference to the truth, reference to the freedom, we contradict the freedom by listening to the past, holding onto the past references. We are having a hard time to let go and anchor in the unknown. Living in the moment is trusting the moment, and that is unknown. And life is that. The next moment we don't know until we experience the moment. So that's pretty much the life. Living in the moment or living with awareness is not holding on to things. Anyway, truth is simple. And again, everybody is having a hard time to grasp the simplicity because of the conditioning. And now, when truth is already hard to grasp it, we are making ourselves more difficult by trying to sit with the metaphor, sit with the philosophical context, and meditating on it to break the code. Isn't that making our life further miserable? However, the intention is there. I want to be free. That's why you're aligning with the metaphor, seeking to break these hidden messes from the metaphor, from the philosophical context. The interest is seen, but the interest and the act that is aligned to break the code is just adding the struggle to forget the moment. Especially the ego self loves to be part of the sophisticated context, this sophisticated idea, because ego loves the upgrade. Ego loves the complexity. The more we try to be sophisticated by inviting this all spiritual mumbo jumbo, the more we are limiting ourselves to see the real self, to making ourselves harder to see who we are. And who we are is no mind. Trying to break the metaphor is is the mind. Someone is speaking their mind in the metaphorical sense, and then we are trying to break it. That itself is an outward journey. And also by collecting the metaphor, collecting the philosophical context, we are still forgetting to point the fingers to ourselves. We are pointing fingers at the world, how the world is so shitty, how the world is trying to mess up your life. So it's pointing fingers outwardly and saying things, to the world, and we're trying to resist the world and trying to live in our own bubble. The bubble is already there. The bubble of safety, the bubble of comfort, the bubble of pleasure. Within that bubble, the fear is also there. Fear of losing your space. So, if the approach is pointing the fingers at the world and telling the world how the fucked up the world is, that itself is the ego speaking out of you. There should be recognition that the ego is expressing the hatred towards the world and also bringing the same hatred in you as a reference point. And when that kind of mentality is there, now you're controlling, creating a boundary, not to lose stuff from your life. And there is the idea of fear of losing. You resist not to lose. You run away when your boundary is threatened. So any act is simply the ego playing the role, the ego prolonging the drama. And when the ego prolongs the drama, who is struggling? You, by not realizing the ego is making you suffer. If you just drop the drama, then you can already step back in ease. You can anchor yourself at ease. It's already, possible. A simple and easy life is already possible. You don't have to even see the truth to maintain the simple life. Simple life is about being aware of what you like, and being part of that craft. And from there, you're organizing yourself by inviting the pattern that is not there to make something grand for yourself. And when you make something healthy, people will naturally love it. And that's where give and take movement will occur itself. The world loves to align with the growth. When people see the growth in you, people want that. And that's how the environment can be better and better. Anyway, let's focus back to the spiritual freedom. Spirituality is simple. It's about dismantling the mind, deconstructing the mind. So don't complicate yourself by sitting with the metaphor and trying to break that code from the metaphorical, from that context. Is useless. Again, ego loves it. Ego loves the sophisticated meaning, the upgraded meaning. So it's all ego playing the role. So if you want simplicity, and from there, if you want to break the simplicity and see who you are, turn the awareness back to yourself, question your action, why you do what you do in all aspects of your life, and that will help you to see the root cause of your actions. And ultimately, if you follow further back by letting go of the root, which is the hardest part of the spirituality, because that triggers you in a way that you see a lot of fears, and ultimately all fears comes down to fear of death, and you have to work on that as well by dismantling why am I afraid, why do I have fear, and that will lead you to see the further layers of the mind. Ultimately the mind ceases. There is no further you can go in dismantling the mind. And when you have done this part in every aspect of your life, by investigating your attachment, by investigating your fear, then when you ask yourself, who am I? And that's where you're gonna click. That's where you're gonna see yourself, how the mind trying to come out, and catching yourself is enlightenment. The spiritual journey ends when you catch yourself, when you're asking yourself, who am I? And that's spiritual freedom. This spiritual freedom ends the spiritual journey, and the true living happens. And the post-enlightenment journey, you don't have a drama in your mind. You don't have that mental drama, emotional drama. You see things as it is. You understand the world. You anchor in who you are as consciousness, being conscious, and life happens from there. That's it. So again, spirituality is simple. It's about dismantling the mind. So invite yourself in the process, and you'll surprise yourself. When you get there, when you see the truth of who you are, then only you realize truth is simple. Who you are is simple. So get to that point. You have to see the truth. Until you see the truth, what you're hearing from me is like blah, 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 blah. Especially when you have a conditioning, and your conditioning is so positive. My words doesn't make sense, or you resist my sharing. That's the reality. But if you have the fear, if you have the drama, that also shows that whatever you align with to break free from your fear and conflict is not working, isn't it? So your failure should make you recognize that, this is kind of making sense. Now what's the next step? Dismantle. That's it. Okay. That's all in this video. Thanks for watching. And if you resonate with what I'm saying, and if you're interested to know how to dismantle the mind, recently I have published a book called Unbecoming, Undoing Your Fear, Undoing the Mental Stress, and that is spiritual freedom. So grab a copy and read, and if you have any question, you can always come back and ask me. Okay? Anyway, take care for now, and I'll see you in the next video.